welcome. We are here today with Suzann Gostovich.
That is correct.
From Growing Past Today, an amazing organization that Live58 Church partners with. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We partner with her through our Clothes for Kids ministry here at the church. But we wanted to just talk to you and just hear your journey, because as leaders, people follow the leader. They want to know, why are you passionate about what you do? Why do you do what you do? And in order for you to say that, first of all, talk about where you came from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am a retired attorney. I practiced law for over 20 years. I worked as a public defender, Department of Social Services, and the Office of the Inspector General. And during that time, I was also in the California National Guard as a JAG. And I retired at the age of 50 during COVID. And when I retired, my plan was to do what most retirees would like to do, and that is absolutely nothing until they can figure out what they wanted to do. But during COVID, a friend of mine asked me to help prepare lunches for some unhoused kids who were doing their distance learning at a church, and they needed lunch. She said, "Would you help me just for a month or so make some lunches for these kids?" And I said, "Absolutely, I'll help you." Well, when I started delivering the lunches, I met Julie O'Connor with the Hope Neighborhood Learning Center and saw how passionate she was about literacy and teaching unhoused kids how to read and pursue their academics. And I asked Julie, "Is there anything else you need?" And she said, "Yes, these kids would really like some breakfast." So a sandwich turned into breakfast, and then as I started to meet the kids and know the kids, I realized that a sandwich turned into breakfast, that turned into need for clothes, that turned into need for hygiene products, and so much more. And so Growing Past Today formed out of my observations of what unhoused kids need and they deserve to bring a sense of dignity when they go to school. And so in July of 2021, I founded Growing Past Today, that provides food, clothing, hygiene products, books, acts of kindness, and activities to unhoused kids in the greater Sacramento area.
Yeah, it's a beautiful organization, and we thank you that we can partner
with
you.
Thank you.
Let's go back again.
Sure.
How did your career form you to get to where you're at? I mean, was there things that happened during your career that kind of opened your heart to these situations?
Absolutely. So as a public defender, public defenders represent indigent individuals. And as a public defender, I've represented adults and kids. And I also represented parents and kids in the dependency system. So I did both the criminal and the dependency. Dependency is when children are removed by child welfare services. And through representing kids and adults in criminal cases, but also in the dependency, I saw the need of, if only someone could have helped them earlier. Yeah. If someone could have intervened or provided this assistance, guidance, or just attention and presence, maybe, just maybe, their life would have been different, or they would have made different choices. Yeah. Because in the criminal world, it is choices. Yeah. And for the dependency, when I saw kids removed from their parents and so much pain, it's not their fault. Right. And very much like homelessness, it's not the child's fault. So through that, through my time as a public defender and then the Department of Social Services, I worked in the policy division. I just saw that so many children were impacted by decisions of adults, and it's not the child's fault. Yeah. Very much it did. And then with the Inspector General's office, I went into, they're an oversight agency of the Department of Corrections. And so I would go into the institutions, the prisons, quite a bit. And I just realized I want to do something so children do not become adults in the prisons.
We're such a product of our environment, and so many times. For those of us who grew up middle class and had parents who said go to school and parents that worked, that's the model we grew up in. And so
Absolutely.
It's not because we're better, it's just because that was the model.
Absolutely. I was very fortunate to grow up in a two-parent home. I always felt safe. I always had food on the table. I was always clothed. School was the expectation, and absence wasn't an excuse. There was no absence for an excuse, and if I had a stomach ache, it was very painful to stay home, not because of the stomach ache, because my parents knew whether I was sick or not.
Yeah, I know your mom. I know your mom. I get it.
And equally important is there were adults in my life that cared about me, and I always knew I was worth something. And some of the kids that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to touch them. Some of the kids that Growing Past Today helps have heard things that are so damaging to their emotional well-being I'm just fortunate that never happened to me. And part of what Growing Past Today does by giving them clothes and food is we show them that someone else is in their life that actually cares about them.
Right.
So it's more than just an article of clothing or food. It is reaching out, letting them know we see you and we care about you.
Those items represent dignity and what you just said, we see you.
We
and
see
that
you.
That you matter.
Yeah, that you matter. Not only today, because I'm Growing Past Today and all our partners are giving you that today, but we're with you as you wear those clothes.
Yeah.
You have us on your back.
So you retired going, well, this is what you do. You retired.
Yeah.
You get asked to do something very specific.
Just a
from
sandwich,
friend.
right? Just can you help me make a sandwich?
And now Growing Past Today is standing literally in the gap
Yeah.
between where kids could go, but maybe the gap is the wrong word, but
Right.
you are bridging to kids to maybe a much better future.
Yeah, a very small piece. It's not just Growing Past Today, and,
Right.
and that's what I hope we talk about today. It's through our partnerships.
Well, and you're good at that. You're
It's
good
through
at
our
working.
partnerships.
I will just say this: there's maybe you have an ego, but she puts her ego on the side because it's about partnerships. It's not about you, and
It's not.
that's why we love working with you.
Excellent.
We met Suzann at the Orangeville Fair Oaks Food Bank because that's where they were helping assist you.
Yes.
And then, as you know, our church is a partner with that, so that's how we met.
It is, and it's a big community. Like we say,
Yeah, it is.
Live58 volunteers at the Fair Oaks Orangeville Food Bank, and Growing Past Today draws food for families from that food bank, and that's how I met Mike, who asked me what I was doing, and it's just a community. So Growing Past Today can't do it alone.
Yeah.
Like I said, we partner with Live58, the Orangeville Food Bank, Hope
Yeah.
Neighborhood Learning Center.
Yeah. Name your partners, or do you have too many of them?
We have a lot.
Yeah.
So Orangeville Fair Oaks Food Bank, Live58, Christian Brothers, the Hope Neighborhood Learning Center. We also receive support from the Fair Oaks Rotary Club, the Orangeville Rotary Club, just so many partners and individuals.
Yeah.
So individuals with each one of those entities also provides support as well through some monetary donations. And those are huge because they help us keep running.
Yeah.
We have to. Yeah, we have overhead. As you know, through the church,
we get it. Well,
that's the boring stuff.
And I love though that we all can't do it alone, but we can do it together.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important. What Live58 does for the Orangeville Food Bank or for Growing Past Today is more than providing clothes. They provide me the energy to keep going because I could not do it alone.
Yeah.
And just when I'm feeling tired, exhausted, sometimes you feel helpless.
Yeah.
The Clothes for Kids team, and I hope we get to talk about that, they're there. I get an email from Lori or a text from Roxanne. They're there helping.
Yeah.
And when I'm tired, I know they're there.
Wow.
And that's phenomenal because I could not do it by myself.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Clothes for Kids.
Okay.
Imagine that. Imagine that. We celebrate a lot of stories, and we appreciate you sending us stories and impact stories. But I think it's still easy to forget the impact of clothing and new clothing or clothing for kids who are basically homeless, right?
Correct. Unhoused, yeah.
Unhoused.
Unhoused.
What's the difference between unhoused and homeless?
It's the same.
Okay. All right. Okay. People have
It's
asked
the
me,
same.
and I didn't know either.
Yeah, some people use homeless, some people use unhoused. The Growing Past Today uses the definition of unhoused or homeless pursuant to the McKinney-Vento Act. It's a definition provided in federal statute, and it's what the school districts use to determine whether a child is unhoused. And for the schools, it's important because lack of documentation should not be a barrier for kids entering school. And so if they are determined unhoused or homeless, the lack of documentation of a residency should not prevent them from going to school. And it's a rather broad definition, but I think that's very intentional and to the benefit of the child. So it could be kids who are couch surfing, living in trailers, living in parks, multiple families living in one unit. So it's pretty broad, or motels, shelters. So yeah.
Wow.
I digressed. I'm sorry.
No,
what was the question?
I like getting smarter. You just made me smarter. You just talk about the connection with Clothes for Kids.
Okay,
and some
so-
celebrations of that.
Okay, so Clothes for Kids with Live58 is part of its mission is to provide unhoused or clothes for unhoused kids. And to take a step back, I want to walk you through their process because it is a lot. So the team for Clothes for Kids, they collect new and gently used clothes. When they get those clothes, they sort through them. They take the gently used clothes and they launder every piece of used clothing. Then they sort the clothes by gender and size. Once it's sorted by gender and size, the team meets 1 to 2 times a month, depending on whether it's a high season. They match the clothes into actual outfits, and they bundle the outfits, and they wrap them up so Growing Past Today can give them to children. So in that bundle is at least 2 pairs of pants and 3 shirts, and sometimes an extra item like a piece of swimwear, pajamas, or a dress for a young girl. So it's important to understand how much work they put into collecting and bundling those clothes.
Right.
And the clothes range from infant all the way up to XXL for men, because kids are on the spectrum of sizes, and we help babies all the way up to high school students.
Yeah.
And so approximately once a month, I'll come and collect the clothes, and if there's a need, an urgent need in between, I will reach out to the team, Lori, and she'll meet me at the church.
Awesome.
Whether it's, it doesn't matter what day of week or what time it is. If I reach out to Lori, she'll respond to the need of the child when she's available. So it's just amazing. And some of the clothes are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I know, can I show you a bundle?
Sure.
Yeah, these bundles are amazing. So these are the bundles I was talking about.
I like the Crocs, by the way.
Right?
Yeah, those aren't my
so,
size.
so these are the bundles, as I mentioned, typically 2 bottoms, 3 tops, and it has what's included in the bundle, the gender and the size. So I can just reach out and hand these to the kids. I also place these in schools. So social workers at the schools can grab a bundle for a child. So if a kid comes in and they're wearing clothes that are dirty or ill-fitted, the social worker can go into their resource room and just grab a bundle for the child. Or if a family comes in, they're new to the school, new to the area, and they don't have clothes or are displaced in some reason, he or she can hand the family a bundle, which is so cool, because that means I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time, which is what I want to be, right?
Yeah.
We just want to make these available for the kids. And then these are Crocs.
Which are the new thing, the old new thing.
The old new things, and these are wonderful. And I have to say, a member brought these in today. Oh. And I reached out to Lori. I let her know that a bundle that the church provided was given to some kids. And in the picture that I sent to Lori, the kids were one of the kids was barefoot and on hot cement, and it was hot. It was 100 degrees out. And she responded, "Thanks, do the kids need new shoes? A member wants to buy them new shoes." And the member, when I was coming in today, brought 2 pairs of shoes for each child, a pair of Crocs and a pair of sneakers, which is amazing, just amazing. And I tell you, they need it. I mean, they ran out to greet me. One, they were wearing the clothes that Live58 had provided, which was that I had provided the day before, and they ran out in bare feet. And so this will be really cool.
It goes back to what we say, dignity, and also giving them a better shot at, again, not being made fun of all the stigmas that happen at school. You think about when we grew up, you get new clothes for the beginning of the school year, and you just, again, take those things for granted. And then kids are smart. They get a little judgy there if a kid's, so it's dignity. That word just keeps coming back.
It does, and it's not just the style of the clothes. They're very fashionable clothes, but they're clean. Right. As I mentioned before, the team launders the clothes, and oftentimes the kids come to school with really dirty, filthy clothes, and they smell. I'm going to put it, they stink. Right. And to be able to have clean clothes on is pretty remarkable. Yeah, pretty remarkable.
Is that all you want to show, or did you want to show other
well,
things?
there's, these are more shoes. I have some numbers. Oh,
yeah.
I did have some numbers.
You're sitting on the numbers.
I'm sitting on the numbers. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to give you an impact.
And I will tell you that the congregation here, this is such a joy. That's what I love about it. And I think the kids receive those, somehow they know that those clothes are being given in joy, because there's a lot of joy here of people getting to do this.
They do know that. When I was at the Oak Ridge Elementary School, which is where I put some of the clothes in the resource room, the door was open and the principal walked by, Miss Weldon, and she said, "Miss Suzann, someone wants to meet you." And a girl walked in. She's like, "I wanted to see who puts all these clothes here." Oh. And I said, "Well, my name is Miss Suzann." I said, "But Live58 is truly the one that puts these here. I just drive them over." And then I explained what Live58 is and does, and it was really cool. She's like, okay, I just wanted to see you, bye. I'm like, okay,
Exactly.
it's all good.
Now Oak Ridge, that's Oak Ridge Elementary School,
Oak Ridge.
not Oak Ridge High School. And
Correct.
Okay,
Oak
all
Ridge
right,
Elementary School off of Martin Luther King Boulevard.
yeah.
It's right near Christian Brothers, and then KBK, which is another school that we support as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Why don't you celebrate some numbers here?
Sure. I do want to celebrate some numbers. So in 2024 alone, Clothes for Kids Live58 has donated over 3,000 articles of clothing, and that does not include what was dropped off or that I picked up today. Wow. Over 3,000 articles. Let me give you some numbers. 1,301 shirts, 616 pairs of pants, 443 shorts, 197 articles of baby clothing, so like the little onesies, 142 sweatshirts or sweaters, 89 pajamas, 27 dresses, 23 jackets, 189 pairs of new socks, 168 pairs of new underwear, and 37 pairs of brand new shoes. And again, not including what I picked up today. So that's just that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And growing past today, since we were founded in July of 2021, we've helped serve nearly 500 kids. Wow. And so I can pretty reasonably say that just about every single one of those kids has received clothes from Live58, which is, that's a lot.
That is.
That's pretty amazing.
That is.
Yeah.
So cool.
So cool.
A lot has happened in a short amount of time.
It has.
Since we met you. So what are your biggest needs, goals, how people watching this that want to get involved?
Sure. Growing Past Today greatly appreciates the Clothes for Kids program and the partnership that we have with Live58. Adopt a Family is coming up for the holidays.
Right.
That's where members adopt families for Christmas and kind of meets the wish list of the kids. And Live58 also invited me to submit the names of the parents, which is very kind. So we do that. When I walked in today, the boxes of cereal were offered, and that will be phenomenal. I'll put those in the resource room at the Oak Ridge Elementary School so the social worker can draw from that. The continued partnership. New shoes are always welcome. I know we talked about Crocs, and they are fashionable, but I'll tell you why I also like them. They're easy to fit for kids. As you can see, they kind of have a wide toes box, so if we don't get the precise size, it's close enough. And they're generally gender neutral shoes, or colors, I should say. So Crocs and sneakers are always welcome.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
And we're supposed to partner, and we, as a church, we said when we started during COVID, we said we want to just partner with really smart organizations and not reinvent the wheel. So it was just meant to be. So
thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. And don't become weary in doing good.
Thank you.
We're here to support one another.
Thank you. That's right. And there's always one more move.
Yep. There's always one more move.
Always more move.
Thank you.